Welcome back to LETV. Remember to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification button to make sure you don't miss out on any upcoming content. Let's do this. Right guys, I'm back, and today I'm here with music producer and DJ Dave, aka Fly T from Capital 1212.
How you doing?
Cheers for coming on, man.
Hey, man.
I got it right as well, because I've been addicted to saying Capital 1212.
Yeah.
But you weren't.
Mic check.
Yeah, you were saying a lot of people made that mistake, so it's alright.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, yeah.
Well, I like that I got it right, and then even made it known that I was going to get it wrong anyway.
Exactly, yeah. Owning it.
Aye, well, cheers for coming on, man.
Yeah.
We've been chatting about this for a few months.
Yeah.
It's the same with quite a lot of people, just trying to fit them all in and stuff. And
Yeah.
get
No,
them
that's
all.
good. That's good,
So cheers for
good
also
to chat.
quite a last minute one in the end, as
Yeah.
well. So it's a bit chilly today, unfortunately. My heater's died on us.
It's fine.
Give me your woolly hat, so it's alright.
I'm keeping the hat on. Yeah, keep it on.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've got two jumpers on and everything. Aye, so this should be up probably just after Christmas or something, so it's just coming up to Christmas for anyone watching, so so managed to fit in even though you've got your Christmas shopping to do.
Avoiding the Christmas shopping. That's why I'm here.
I said to the missus, I can't make it, I've got a podcast to do.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a real big deal, this podcast. Perfect. Well, we'll just bash on then. So this is like an interview podcast based on like yourself. So the first part's really just a bit about yourself for people that maybe don't know much about you, sort of as a person and stuff.
Yeah.
So where were you sort of born and where did you grow up?
From up north, Inverness.
Grew
Grew up there, yeah. And then, went travelling up for a bit. And then been in Edinburgh since, actually. So I've been in Edinburgh quite a long time now, actually.
What age did you come to Edinburgh?
I'm trying to think, actually, probably went travelling about 20. I'm 44 now, so and then I've been in Edinburgh for about 20 years.
So you left Inverness when you were around 20.
So about that time.
And went to a few different places.
Just kind of a bit travelling and stuff like that.
Cool.
Doing some gigs and stuff like that as well back then, and But
were you just attracted because it's the capital, like more opportunities music wise and?
That was it. Music had a big part to play in it. I think I used to come down either to DJ or just coming down for nights out to go raving and stuff like that, go clubs, and hip hop was really big in Edinburgh at that time as well. When I moved down, like that kind of caught me a bit. Like I came down, went out to a few clubs, and I was like, it was really popping off here. Like it was like almost every night of the week there was there was a huge American artist playing, there was loads of local acts playing, it was just there
was a real sort of scene, and
there was
multiple DJs and
like places like the Venue and stuff, there'd be like,
and in those days Scottish rappers were probably just starting to emerge.
Yeah, that's right. You had a lot of crews. I think we were speaking about it a wee bit just before we started, but even like I think when I came down for a night out, so like Yard MCs, Scotland Yard MCs and that, and I didn't know Prof and all these guys at that time at all, but I saw them, and then I kept coming down for like to catch like Master Ace playing and all different.
Do you think you were even aware Scottish people were rapping at that point? Or?
I had some vinyl and stuff like that. I was quite into UK hip hop and stuff like that. So I was kind of on, but then I suppose maybe on the live aspect, I wasn't catching a lot of live, Scottish hip hop or anything like that.
Jinx gets a lot of that. I've said before that I went, before I even rapped, I went to the Bongo, I think it was, and Jinx was on stage, and I was a massive hip hop head, loved hip hop, and I remember just being like, wow, just hit me that Scottish people can do this. I must have been so, before I was even performing or making tunes of that, so I was probably like 17, 18. I was about 18 when I started to get into it. So.
It's true. And as much as I collected lots of UK hip hop and stuff and had records and stuff, I think just the scene when I came down, I was like, I want to be about this a bit more and that, and I was looking at trying to do more gigs and stuff like that, and just so I just thought let's move to Edinburgh ever since. So
it's similar. Like even I grew up in Edinburgh, and slight different generation. I'm not much younger than you though. But when I went to London the first time, I remember that same, wow, like, I know there's a scene in Edinburgh and Glasgow, but this is crazy.
Yeah.
Went to a Don't Flop rap battle event.
Yeah.
And it was just like rappers everywhere, eh?
Yeah.
And like some of them that I had seen on videos on YouTube and everything. It's just like, wow, man, everybody's here. And this is crazy. Does this happen every weekend down here? Like,
yeah. It was a good time for hip hop and like live events, and and there was a lot of promoters and a lot more venues and a lot more clubs back then in all the cities. So it was. It was definitely a good time. Like,
COVID's definitely affected everything massively. Eh?
Yeah, and just even venues shutting down before then as well. I think like when you think back to then about all the extra venues, even in Edinburgh,
there was already a massive issue before COVID with all the venues closing, all the clubs and live performance.
Yeah. So but it was good times though. It was there was for a while there was a period in Edinburgh where it really was like you're actually missing going and seeing some like your favourite artists because there were so many people playing. It was like you didn't have that much money, you had to kind of choose, but it was like
I remember people falling out because folk were running a night on the same night they were running a night. It used to happen a lot.
I remember going between nights in Edinburgh, actually going to one for a while, going to another one, playing the night.
And actually, I remember having a discussion with folk and people all annoyed that somebody's running a night on their night and saying there's literally too many people to come to your night.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
we need 2 nights.
You need 2 nights, yeah.
So some folk will have to go to yours and some will have to go to that.
Yeah. I know, it was just right. Then even you just went out and there was always something happening as well. Then it felt like but I'm sure it still is for younger generations going out for whatever their scene is at the moment in Edinburgh. But I think for that period of time when I first moved here, it seemed to be a really good period of time for hip hop specifically. I think
it seems now. Just now, there's not much for new MCs and that to go to open mics and stuff. There's really, not a lot going.
No.
I know there's a couple of things starting off again. Some guy messaged me, Jamie, I think his name was, if he watches the podcast, he was asking me if I wanted to perform, but I'm kind of like not performing anymore, But even when somebody hits me up saying I'm starting a night, and I feel like kind of flattered that he's hit me up and says, do you want to come and perform? I'm trying to get people to perform that will attract a crowd, and I'm going, and you hit me up with that. I'm half like, maybe I should just go and do it anyway.
Do it for the fun of it. Yeah. I know.
So there is people trying to get things going again.
There is, yeah. But it was just, I think I mean, obviously I do a lot of different music. So I play a lot of jungle and garage and grime and dancehall music. So I play a lot of other things, but I think sort of concentrating just that hip hop scene. It was I think for up and coming MCs or for local artists, there was actually like a much bigger stage back then because there was a lot of international artists coming in that you could go and support. So you were getting support slots. You're playing in front of big crowds. That part of it seems to be lacking now. Actually, like as far as that
you sort of managed to tag on to these big artists and get a lot of exposure that way.
Yeah, that's right. And good fun gigs. Like in front of a big crowd and But I think that bit's kind of lacking in Scotland over the last few years. There's not that many big artists, and if they are,
I hadn't even really thought. You probably noticed this stuff more being such a live performer.
Been old.
Good. I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah. I think you do. I think and if you do get like sort of an international artist, if you want to call them that, coming in a big name, it tends to be that whole O2 scene. So it's O2 academies and things like that, and they might have a local support, they might not, but. When I think back,
you're going to have to be at the very top of your local game to get that slot.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas before it was more clubs that people were playing in, so you'd go and see like
Bongo and places like that, the venue.
The venue, you'd have 3 floors at the venue, all like different artists playing.
I remember that.
And there was loads of like.
There was hip hop upstairs and drum and bass and dance.
And all big names, but then also loads of room for local acts to like jump in and play as well, and the good old days.
Aye. So when you left from Inverness, were you making music at that point then?
Yeah, I'd kind of dabbled in bits of music and stuff. I was certainly DJing. Like it was quite strange. Like when I grew up in Inverness, it was before YouTube and before everything else. So I kind of I made mixtapes mainly. There wasn't really anywhere to play in Inverness at all. There wasn't any scene whatsoever. So I end up making mixtapes, and I end up selling the mixtapes to shops. So cool. I was selling out tapes in record shops in like London and Edinburgh and Glasgow, but then also in Australia and America. So like I was selling like just mixtapes, DJ mixtapes in like San Francisco and LA and things.
DJs have always had that
yeah.
in the sort of scene, ahead of rappers. You've always had a sort of advantage because it's not dialect or anything.
No, that's right. Yeah,
so you can be quite successful as a DJ, no matter where in the world you come from.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly. But I wasn't really getting many gigs, you could say, like, because I wasn't really, there wasn't much of a sort of scene. I was doing some gigs, but I was actually maybe playing more like raves and stuff like that. Actually, maybe like playing different types of music. But
I read something on one of your bios investigating about you, and didn't dig up any dirt, unfortunately.
I'm careful.
But I know, saying that you started off. You and what's your mate's name?
Kenny.
Yeah. And what's is his stage name or?
Well, he's got a couple actually. Like by Professor Fresh was one in.
There you go. I always knew you more.
Yeah.
I don't know how that is.
Yeah, I think we just bumped into each other quite a bit. I think probably when I was like kind of DJing with Prophecy a lot.
You were doing DJing a lot. Yeah, we were just started to play gigs and stuff.
Yeah,
but I read something that you and Kenny, you guys both were pretty much making music just to rave, for raves, for partying. At that point, it was just for fun, really.
Yeah, and Kenny was running a drum and bass night in Edinburgh, and I started running a hip hop night in Edinburgh, and that's how we kind of met because we were doing it at the same time.
Cool.
So we were going to each other's clubs, and that's kind of how we met. And I think we got together for a few DJ mix sessions, and just having a mix in the house and things like that, and a few beers, and then made a couple of tracks. And the first couple of tracks kind of got released actually. So
you're both quite switched on too, eh? You're both, put effort into your work, eh?
Yeah,
always have done.
Yeah,
building your name and building your brand and that.
Yeah.
So you could see when you met Kenny, like, oh, he's got the same mindset as me.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It definitely clicked. It's kind of like quality control. Yeah.
I think me and Matat were just like, we both want to rap, let's rap.
Yeah. And that works too, though. There's different ways of, you know what I mean? There's different ways of creating good music. It's so
we wanted to do something different, so we just created a dark hip hop. Nobody was really doing it, so a lot of folk were either, remember the Remedies?
Yes,
they were doing real sort of soulful hip hop stuff, and then Scotland Yard and that were more like Jamaican influenced,
kind of boom bap-ish.
And not quite so chilled out as Remedies were. So it was like, and then ST came out. He was quite early in G-Force, and they were more like battle rappers. They were real lyricists and that. And I don't know how it really, but me and Matat were just like, we were big fans of Necro and people like that.
I can see that.
Always loved Cypress Hill and stuff like that. And we were just like, let's do something like more edgy, something different nobody else is doing. And God, can't remember completely how we came up with the name or anything, but we just created.
And it's good when you think about it ahead of the time, because actually, if you see the waves of music that came after, it was very much that sound. It became really popular. Actually, So, So ahead of the time.
We were lucky when we started doing gigs, and automatically people paid attention, and it was like we didn't make a massive name, but within no time it was like we were recognised by Scotland Yard and stuff like that. And Jinx invited us up to his house. I still remember being like, wow, going up to Jinx's house, like we've made it.
No, totally.
Cool, man. Well, so have you got sort of any early signs when you were a kid that you always loved music? Was there something that pulled you towards it, or is it just something you got into as you got older? Or?
No, it was always there actually. Even before doing music, sitting right and sort of like kind of fake track lists for imaginary albums that you made and things like that. So I always kind of had it in my head, that I wanted to make music.
Messing about with tapes and putting bits of sellotape over them.
Exactly, all that. Making tape covers, drawing the art tape covers and stuff like that. So definitely very much all of that. Like actually,
I've always wondered if everybody did that.
I'm
putting the sellotape over the tape, making your own tapes. Recording, like, I don't want to buy that now CD. I want to make my own one.
Exactly.
Now tape.
No, totally. And even with DJing side of things as well. Even just watching like kind of videos of like my favourite groups at that time and kind of try and replicate what they were doing. From kind of young age and stuff. And
probably a very young age, even just watching Top of the Pops and stuff.
There's a lot more music on TV.
You were really I loved watching Top of the Pops. And didn't even realise at that age that what I really loved was the music. You
Yeah.
didn't realise at that age yet, eh?
Yeah.
Dancing to Michael Jackson and
Exactly, yeah. And there were some other really good like sort of TV shows like kind of back at that time. I think like I remember like live at the Apollo at the Harlem Theatre. And the Apollo that used to be on really late at night TV as well. Like, and
Aye.
used to see used to be some hip hop on that. Like, a lot more 80s acts I think around that time. Houdini and all these people, L Cool J and stuff like that. But but then also James Brown and Al Green and stuff like that. I remember staying up late to watch that.
Cool.
And then you had things like
I never knew about that, and they actually played that. live
yeah,
at the Apollo.
and it was
Aye.
amongst comedians and that. It was just
Aye,
the Apollo
aye.
show a bit. It used to make British TV, but if I remember, it used to be late at night, like or felt late at night.
At
Anyway,
the same time as Topless Darts.
yeah,
Sorry, was that just me?
yeah, no, it's amazing. You had to choose which one you were recording and which one you were watching. But
Yeah, the rap battles can wait.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there was also like a Normski's house party as well and things. That was really good on BBC Two
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock at night. And Normski had it, and there was a lot of like 90s hip hop and New Jack Swing and stuff in there. And that got me into quite a lot of music. Yeah, so
I've got a bit of a funny sense of humour.
Yeah.
Damaged Goods had said on his one, I says, "Oh, shame I couldn't have came to your house." He's like, "You don't want to come to my house, mate. It's all porno mags and cat piss."
is that Damaged Goods?
And I went, I'll watch out for the cat piss. He says, "Watch out for the porno mags
Jesus,
too."
yeah.
I'm like, oh man.
Shout out to Damaged Goods.
I know. Cool, man. Well, we're chatting on. We've still got another sort of wee 10 minutes. Cover a wee bit more about you growing up and stuff. Were you? I mean, in being into DJing, did you ever do any sort of graph or anything like that? Spraying or
No,
b-boy stuff or anything like that? Or?
Tried wee bits of everything, don't you? Like you
Aye.
try and fail, don't you? Like
Yeah, I know.
I tried MCing a wee bit. I was terrible. I tried,
did you?
Yeah, I tried all of it actually. I tried b-boy and I tried graph and kind of just terrible at all of it. So yeah,
Aye. I'm similar. I tried a lot of different. I tried the DJ, and I was saying
Right,
earlier.
yeah.
I found I can play a tune. That's about it.
yeah. You find something, don't you? You find your niche, don't you?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so, yeah.
yeah.
But,
So skateboard and anything like that.
yeah. I skated as well. Like
Aye.
a lot of people did that. Kind
Aye.
of got into hip hop and stuff as well.
So you
So,
get
yeah.
quite into skating then.
I did. I was terrible at that as well. I was rubbish. I was
right.
terrible, but I was
Aye.
into it. I was
You know
really,
Nasty P quite well.
Yeah. No nasty for years. So yeah.
Yeah. Ever skate with him much? Or
No, I'd given up.
Aye. Not
A
quite
long
at
back.
Nasty P's level.
No, I'd given up a long
He's still
time.
impressive, eh?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
aye,
yeah.
aye.
Yeah, quite a lot of DJs and stuff actually skate. I know
Yeah.
DJ Woody, down in England. Like he's he's really good at skating as well. Actually, like, so
Aye.
it seems to be a connection.
Definitely,
Yeah,
aye. And I always say I wasn't a skater, but I was in with sort of skaters, but I didn't actually skate. But I tried it.
Yeah.
I had a skater mate. He moved to Australia, and he was well into skated all his life. And he gave me one of his old boards and was like, "Here, man, practice with that. It's my old board, and you could just have it." Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah.
Tried it for about a week or so. It was like, this isn't for me. I think I
Yeah.
gave up pretty quick.
Yeah, I actually bought a skateboard during lockdown again for the first time, and I went out on it twice, and I fell. And you fall differently now.
Aye.
Before when you fall, you roll, you land lightly. This time I just thumped.
As you
like,
get older.
I just thumped again. And I lay in the park on my back for about 20 minutes, not moving. Like, and then that was it. I've not been on it since. Like, so yeah. So if anybody wants a skateboard, hit me up. Like, it's there's a brand new skateboard sitting there. Like, for anyone.
It's literally rolled 100 meters.
Exactly. yeah.
Cool, man. So did you ever been in any sports or that as a kid? Did you play any sports? Or?
Not so much more just say skating and things like that actually. More later in life actually I've kind of got more into things like boxing and stuff like that. So
Cool.
Yeah.
You do boxing?
Yeah, I do boxing and stuff. So,
I think I saw something online.
Yeah.
A picture of you training
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
Picture me being punched in the face probably.
No, I think did I see a video of you punching the bag in that?
Yeah, maybe actually.
I think I saw
Yeah.
something.
So I do bits of boxing and stuff, but nah.
Just for the health and the fitness, really.
That's it,
Yeah.
Try
I
and
did
stay-
a bit of boxing as well, but when I had my daughter, I kind of quit it when
Yeah.
she was born. But so I did it for about 5 years.
Yeah, cool, yeah.
And loved it.
Yeah.
And I keep tempting myself. I need to do something like that again.
Great fun, isn't it? Like, but yeah. No, younger days, certainly teenage years. onwards, like no, I think I was too busy raving it up and
yeah.
kind of misbehaving and raving and
Aye.
bad living.
That weird thing. I wasn't doing boxing back in the day when we were doing gigging.
It was after.
And then it must have been just after that. I did boxing for sort of 5 years, just before having kids.
Yes,
and then I've quit it again.
Totally.
So, I was exactly the same. There's no way I'd have been going to boxing back in the day.
No,
till 4 a.m.
No, definitely not. So funny how you get healthier sometimes later in life than you were.
Yeah, I know.
But that's what it's about. When you're younger, you probably should be out.
Yeah,
being reckless and
totally.
you only live once, don't you?
I went out. I was out in clubs when I was like 16, 17. So I always say to folk, I think it's a good thing to go out when you're quite young. Because by the time I was 25, I was kind of bored of it.
Kind of done.
I was I'm not out wrecking my 20 odd years getting totally hammered because I've actually been doing it for 10 years. I felt, so time I hit 30, I was like, I'm happy to just sit in, like, put a film on.
No, definitely. Yeah, I think like one of my first DJ gigs, like when I must have been about 16, and it was at a rave, but it was in a licensed venue actually. It wasn't like an illegal one or anything. But I was DJing at the start of the night, and the police raided it. And they all came in, and because I was 16 and I was obviously on the stage, I was quite noticeably, and I looked young for my age as well. Like, so they quickly, the promoters quickly threw me out the fire escape and closed the fire escape door. So I'm standing on the outside while the police are going around checking everyone and stuff like that, And then suddenly, I don't know if I can say on this, but suddenly a bag came flying out as well, like a record bag, And I was like, all right, why are they throwing a record bag out here and stuff like that? And I looked inside, and let's just say, like, pretty much everyone in the whole rave had just thrown all their stash in this record bag and thrown it out into the fire escape for me to stand and hold outside at 16. I was like, okay, yeah. By the time, I think they forgot about me as well afterward, because after a while I was kind of knocking on the door, and they let me back in. I think the police had gone like for about half an hour.
Well, you've not said what the venue was or anybody's name.
No, it's not there anymore. The venue's gone now. No surprise, actually, the venue's gone. But when I got back in as well, like there was some guy actually just completely off his nut, like DJing instead of me, like with my records. Nobody knew who he was. He just got on and carried on, and the place was all dancing and stuff. And he was actually doing a much better job than I had done. Like, so I just thought I'll leave him to it.
I had a similar thing at T in the Park where the police stand with the drug bins. And they fill the bins up. Hey, you're meant to drop your drugs.
Right, okay, yeah.
It's your one chance, and the police are right there, and they're not doing anything. You can literally pull out drugs and put it in the bin, and they're thankful you're doing that. But when I went to in the park the first time, folk had said, "Aye, no, there's drug bins. They put your drugs in the bin and that when you go in." And God, wow, mad, what? And they let you because it's your one chance to not get caught with drugs there. Wow, that's nuts. And I've already drank half a bottle of Jack Daniels by the time I got, as I'm walking through the gate, I go to the club. You just pick what you want, mate. He's like,
pick and mix. Yeah, pick and mix.
I think a wee bit of that, and a wee bit. Cheers, mate.
Totally, I know, it's quite mad, isn't it? I know I've had a few experiences going through airports actually. Well, I'm not going to name names, but with artists when we've been on tour, leaving festivals, and people have realised that they've still got stuff as they get to customs and airports, and there was a time a while back where I actually had to say to the person at customs, are bad, you know what I mean? Shit, like, you know what I mean? And then just put it all in, and he let us put it all in the bin in front, not me. The people I was with.
Mm-hmm. Aye. I mean, I've never been one for like proper hard drugs anyway. But I once went to Amsterdam and got back to the airport with a wee bit of hash in my pocket, and I done the same. When I got to the airport and went, "Oh no!" Yeah. Got at me. Yeah. I went, "Oh," and I just went.
Exactly. You either do that or you put it in the bin. But I'm sure when you put it in the bin in front of customs, they're probably having a good time at the end of the night. Just taking it all back out again.
I had a good sleep on the plane. Then it was
exactly. Yeah.
Well, cool, man. I think we've chatted enough on part one. Really, It was just to get a wee idea of yourself and your sort of background and that. And cool. I suppose I've not asked you the one question. How old are you?
44 now.
44, aye. Well, I'll be 41 in February, so not far behind you. Like
catching up.
I was on the last podcast before. I was chatting to ST, and I thought he was younger than me, and he's like, "No, I'm just 39. I'm just behind you." I was like, "Oh, you're not younger than me. Then you're in the same bracket."
Yeah.
You're not getting off with it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, cool, man. We'll move on, and we're going to have a little break. And we're going to play a track from Capital 1212. Will that be who it's titled from? Yeah, Capital
Yeah,
12.
yeah.
Yeah, produced by probably Dave, Fly T, or your
Yeah,
partner
both of us. Yeah.
Kenny.
Yeah.
And what's his stage name again, or what does he use mainly?
Professor Fresh, and he's also got solo projects as well.
All right, so Professor Fresh, and Fly T from Capital 1212, and we'll be back in a wee minute. All details will be on the screen.
Cool.
Cheers.
Sometimes it's the truth that's dark, so bizarre, can leave a mark. Still I embark on a road that's hard. But I know my heart, I seek the truth with evidence. The truth, it is self-evident. So all the rest irrelevant, are lost within the sentiment. I know my worth legitimate. Attachments, fleeting filaments. Ignore the insignificant. Decide on your predicament. Educate, elevate, see before it escalate. Investigate a better place, and at the gate, don't hesitate. Find your path and stay on track. Some will try and hold you back. Twist the truth, call it fact. The proof is how they interact. I know my natural habitat, what I need and what detracts. Still I grab and can't relax. The ego's like a heart attack. Relentless till your hopes are dashed. Fantastic deep like artifacts. Decipher codes that keep me trapped. Emerge from incubation hatch. A plan of action, truth dispatched. The die is cast, return has passed. Emancipation free at last. Free at last.
Render your arms and not your garment. The truth is there. For who have eyes to see? Partiality has no place in this judgment. Remember the words of prophecy.
Gotta get free, open your mind. Some of us see, some of us blind. Some of us speak, other man lie. A lot of things change in a blink of an eye. By the stroke of a pen, or drop of a hat. Some pick it up, some never come back. Mostly an act, wearing a mask. Built on lines, it's bound to collapse. And probably fail. Harbor the force, but can't set sail. Don't realise what the truth entail. What the truth involved. They'll recognise what the stem involved. All that glitters really ain't gold. Truth and rights need to be told. Haven't you heard? Set you free or very absurd. Accelerate or maybe disturb. Open skies or bury your world. Covered your choice. Freedom of speech is a powerful voice. Valuable tool. Never assume incompetence can leave a man screwed. Or a bit confused. The rule can be made by any old fool. Understand which, where, why and who. Whatever you do, true say there be a couple of routes. Beyond the branch there is only one truth. If not for yourself, at least for the youth.
Render your arms and not your garment. The truth is there. For who have eyes to see? Partiality has no place in this judgment. Remember the words of prophecy. Run, come, the truth and rise. Well, that's what I'm about. Run, come, the truth and rise. Well, that's what I'm about. Run, come, the truth and rise. Well, that's what I'm about. Run, come, truth and rise. Well, that's what I'm about. Yeah, that's what I'm about. Yeah. Yeah, render your arms and not your garments. The truth is there. For who have eyes to see?
Right, guys, so that's us back. Hope you enjoyed that track there from Capital 1212. The details should have been on the screen if it's available, where you can download it and stuff. So we're just going to bash on with the second part. This part's more basically just about your music and how you sort of got into music, some of your experiences, maybe stories you've got to tell. Really just about your experiences doing your music, really, because we've spoke about like you as a person, and later on we'll speak about more about what you're doing coming up and stuff. So what sort of things in your life would you say, like can you remember doing your first gig and things like that? Or?
I can remember doing sort of early DJ gigs. I remember I think I'll sort of the first stick out, only the first time kind of going on tour and things like that, the first international gigs and things like that. I think everyone says that, the first time you get played on the radio and you hear yourself on the radio, especially if you're not expecting it, it's always quite a cool moment, actually. It's I think that's probably one of the best moments, actually. And I think as a musician, if you don't know it's coming on the radio and you hear it and you're in the car, you're like, oh, wait a minute.
And you're at that level, it's your first sort of thing to, the first time being on the radio, you feel like you've been working at that. And wow, I'm on the radio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's a lot of big moments. I think that's the good thing about doing music. It's kind of got. It's all been kind of really good experience. Obviously, the music business as well. It's. I think everyone knows there's a lot of crap and there's a lot of. There's a lot of sort of kind of horrible stuff and people.
Almost rivalry and people.
And money stuff. Labels and stuff like that. But I mean, that's the stuff that everybody kind of knows. But there is always like really positive stuff in amongst it as well. The people you meet who end up becoming really good friends. Outside the music. And just it's been a good experience.
Make tons of friends through music as well.
You do.
If you hadn't done music, you'd still have all your friends you've made in your life, but you make so many more friends through the music. It's
you do.
Some of them are friends, some of them are just sort of people you know. Some of them are like very close friends. But
exactly. Like
seriously. And there are some that you even just give time and speak to, but you're not really keen on.
There's quite a lot of those. There's quite a lot of those in the music industry as well, isn't there? But
I know. But if you're a decent guy, you tend to be sound with everyone. I mean, that's and then
life's too short, really, isn't it?
Sometimes you even work with these people. And you don't see eye to eye, but they've got the maturity to act decent to you, and you do to them, and you can still run a night together or be on the stage at the same time.
Exactly, yeah. I think through time though, it's been, I've been busy. I've kind of gone in different avenues, and I've promoted nights myself. I've DJ'd for artists, been their DJ on stage.
You were saying you DJ'd for Prophecy.
Yeah, probably
for a long time.
One. Yeah, quite a number of years actually. So yeah.
If anyone's Prophecy was one of the rappers from Scotland Yard, anyone into the sort of local scene should know who they were. It was Jinx and forget all the names. I know there's a big guy, Stuart.
Yeah.
I forget the other guy's name. He's African guy as well.
Yeah. I can't think.
I used to go out drinking with them and everything. So many years, getting old.
Yeah. Maybe the age in it. But
they were like a leading sort of group at the time. You did a lot of DJing for Prophecy after the Scotland Yard period.
So I was doing Prophet kind of solo. We ended up working a couple of tracks together first, and then he used to do vocals for us for the Capital 1212 gigs. And at the same time, he was also he was releasing solo material on an album, so we'd end up DJing for him. So we were doing a lot of gigs together, but some of the bookings were like a Prophecy show where we would be in the background DJing for him, and some would be a Capital 1212 kind of more of a sound system DJ set, and he'd be MCing. So
more drum and bassy stuff.
Make sure he'd be jumping on the mic, and we'd still do songs together.
Do you make much sort of dubstep stuff in that as well? Do you like a bit of dubstep?
We kind of touched on everything in that kind of sort
dubstep's dying off a bit more now, isn't it?
Do you know what I think? I think the revival is coming.
Is it? It's coming back.
I think so. Not here yet, but I think
it blew up at one point. Was it early 2000s or?
And Prophecy was actually a big, really vital in that and bringing it to Scotland. Actually, he was running a club night called Volume at the time, and he was bringing up Scream and Casper and all these guys, but he was the first to bring them all up. So
I've got a set of drawers over there with a Volume sticker.
Oh, really? Yeah. It was a great night.
I'm sure we played Volume. I'm sure he's done a couple of nights and actually got us on. And yeah.
So it's good. So I was DJing for him, and I've DJed for other people. Like I've kind of like some quite a mixture of music. Actually, I've DJed for quite a lot of reggae artists, sort of on tour and stuff, and then some like guys like Big Nasty and
Hey,
people
you've
like
worked
that.
with some really big names
Yeah,
as well,
yeah.
American names as well,
Yeah, some old school folk.
Old school,
yeah,
big old school
Yeah,
names though.
yeah.
Yeah.
kind of done like European tours and stuff like that, and like, and then also done like, I suppose I've also done this sort of the touring back in, where like as a sort of warm up support act, DJ on tour as well for like Wu-Tang Clan across Europe and
Yeah.
and things like doing arena tours with them and
You
then
get to hang out with the Wu-Tang much, chat to them, and
yeah,
get much-
yeah. Actually, I've got a story actually about one of your tracks. Actually, I never told you this. I never actually told you this. I remember I was doing a European tour with Wu-Tang, and it was kind of like doing it was quite big venues. It was like stadiums things. And I was just doing like a DJ set at the start of the sets. But at the time, this is relating to yourself and Prophecy actually. I just done a mix CD at that time. CDs were still the thing, and it was a mix CD with all Prophecy tracks. You know, we did it together, and I ended up pressing up quite a few thousand or whatever, and just gave them out to people, you know, at the gigs, you know, and give them out to the crowd and stuff like that for that tour. But actually, one of your tracks was on it.
Yeah.
Actually, welcome track that you did with Prophecy. Was that
Oh right,
Do you
yeah.
remember
That's
that?
the one I produced for him.
See,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Ah.
Yeah, because it was the start of the mix CD. Actually, it was the
Nice,
start. It was
man.
the first song. So I get that was on the mix CD I was giving out to people on the
I
tour.
liked that tune.
It was a great tune.
Yeah.
It was a
And
banger.
I had to change my production style because he was more into that sound.
Yeah.
So it was a really grungy, like
It was grimy. It was
really
grimy.
grimy,
Really dark
grungy
and
beat.
grimy.
Ah,
It was like,
yeah.
electronic kind of. Yeah,
And
it
I
was
knew
good.
that's what he liked.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I'm going to make. But then when I made it for him, I remember he was a bit surprised how hardcore it was. And,
Yeah.
And I remember him going, yeah, it's actually quite hardcore, and I don't do stuff quite that aggressive anymore, but I'll do it for this tune.
Yeah.
So like the whole tune was totally like,
Yeah. And it worked. Like, yeah.
yeah.
But I do remember actually, I was like, you were saying that they hung out and stuff. There was wee bits. I mean, they all came and went. There was a bit of friction between them all, and there was.
The Wu-Tang.
Yeah. And so
there's always been a wee
there's
bit
always
of
been, yeah.
friction in there.
And someone like Ray Kwan actually hung out every night. He was cool and that. Didn't really speak to RZA at all. Actually, there was a lot going on with them all. Like, but there was one night that they were all backstage, all of them, and I was there, and the promoter actually had put on the CD that I'd given him the mix CD. Yeah, your welcome track was like banging in the background actually with Prophecy on it, and everyone's just sitting. It was a huge backstage, you know, but all the Wu-Tang were back there like nodding their heads and stuff and having their Hennessy and stuff like that. It was your song with Prophecy in the background
That's
and stuff.
quality,
That was
man.
I don't think I ever told Prophecy that either, actually, to be honest.
That's an amazing
Yeah,
story.
Yeah, yes, there you go. Yeah, connections. Yeah, connections. It's a small
and it's
world.
funny, man. That's years ago, and
Yeah.
it's funny. All these little stories you don't know about.
Yeah.
There may be other stories similar to that.
Oh, yeah, there
you
always is.
Never
Yeah,
knew that
yeah.
the Wu-Tang had sat and listened to that tune.
Yeah. I still actually remember
Bobbing
like
their heads,
yeah,
chilling.
Yeah, I still remember Rayquan and it was Ghostface. I think actually were like kind of getting their shuffle and their dance on with their Hennessy bottles and their weed and that stuff. I remember that. Yeah,
They'll probably like the sample, because it's
Yeah.
like King of New York as well.
Oh, was it?
Aye,
I
that
didn't realise that.
welcome.
Oh,
at the start,
right.
it's
The Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah,
and that.
yeah.
Aye.
Do you know-
That'll be big when they grew up, Staten Island and New York. And
There you go. It kind of makes sense actually. That
maybe they heard all that.
Yeah, he probably did.
What's that?
Yeah. That's actually, I didn't realise that. I didn't know that was the sample.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah. I had to pay Christopher Walken a lot of money.
Did you? Yeah. Christopher, like he's a.
Is he still going? No. Did he
Yeah.
die?
No,
No,
he's
he's still going. He's getting
Yeah.
very old though now.
Yeah. No, he's still going, isn't he? Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, I met the Wu-Tang as well when they were just playing a gig, and ended up basically just getting backstage. They just let a bunch of folk backstage, and we ended up getting backstage and just got on with them really well. They ended up just chatting away, and we took them nightclubbing after their
Oh,
gig,
yeah.
and just went to a couple of bars, and so that was cool.
Yeah.
But the same,
Yeah.
I spent most of my time talking to Beretta 9 and the Black Knights, and RZA wasn't
No,
very
yeah.
chatty.
Yeah.
But it was cool just to meet him. But
Yeah, totally, yeah. But yeah, so it's a kind of, I suppose that's kind of talking about experience, kind of just doing all that type of thing, and then obviously production as well, and solo DJ gigs, you know, doing the Capital 12 kind of sort of shows, doing solo stuff with different MCs, and
you've
yeah.
obviously played big. Well, I could pull out some of my notes that I was investigating about you about. So you've like played a lot of festivals and stuff, Glastonbury and everything.
Yeah,
So you'll have stood in front of massive crowds.
Yeah, some pretty big ones actually at festivals and stuff.
Aye.
Festivals are always fun. Yeah.
I was
yeah.
even Google imaging you.
Yeah,
So
oh yeah.
I've seen some of the crowds that
yeah.
you've played, like just masses of people,
Yeah.
strobe lights and.
Yeah, some
yeah.
big sort of raves at festivals and stuff. It's
My
like,
missus was asking, who are you doing a podcast with? I was like, oh, he does it, blah blah blah. And there you go. That's the sort of stuff he plays
Yeah.
to. She was like, wow.
yeah. I've been placed in some pretty big crowds and stuff. But it's good fun, festivals are good. Like, it's yeah.
Yeah.
I think our music as well, because we are kind of, it kind of goes across genres. Our music, it's it's kind of got a lot of the sort of UK sounds, like whether it's hip hop, grime, dancehall, jungle, drum and bass. It's a garage. It's kind of got all that in
Popular
there.
sounds as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
it works for festivals, really.
Yeah,
So it's that
people
thing.
love that sort of music at festivals.
Yeah, kind of appeals to a lot of people.
Well, T in the Park, one of my favourite people I saw was Chasing Status.
Oh yeah,
Like they had all the full crew up on that album. The album they brought out with it's like yellow, and I forgot what the album's called. But they had all the singers and everything came to do the gig. So it was like they were all there. Don't think Plan B was on stage.
Right.
Because he does a tune with them.
That's on album, isn't it? Yeah. Nah, they're brilliant live, aren't they? Really
But
good.
yeah, just the atmosphere. I went away with Wu-Tang were there too, and I went away more that Chasing Status thing was unbelievable.
It's that festival thing again,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Like Wu-Tang are like good in a sort of venue, aren't they? Maybe even the grimier the
Wu-Tang
better.
were in the slam tent.
Yeah,
And it was good though. It was like, wow, Wu-Tang in the slam tent, because it's quite wee. Compared to like.
Yeah.
But cool, man. Yeah, other wee sort of notes and stuff. I've just got random wee notes. So obviously, like, you're a 2-man production team then, and you always have been for years now, 20
always.
years. Or
Yeah. I'm trying to think actually.
longer than that.
Probably not. No, probably not
Coming up
quite as long. I'd have to work out.
15, 20
Yeah,
years.
it's something. Maybe 15 years, something like that.
Aye.
Maybe a bit longer actually. But yeah.
Did I read something about, like, you hold residencies here and in Copenhagen?
Yeah. So just
Well, we're investigating it.
Yeah, good investigation. Yeah. I say I'm getting worried what's coming next, but yeah. But no. Yeah.
So is your mate based out there then?
No, he's Edinburgh based as well.
Oh, cool.
From Glasgow originally, but lives in Edinburgh. But no, it's just kind of DJ residency where we do like Capital 12 kind of takeover nights and just be like 4 hours of like
You
just
travel over to
DJing,
Copenhagen.
of DJing and just
So that's a regular thing
Yeah,
over
yeah.
there. And
Yeah,
cool.
So yeah. Used to have a few in other places as well, like which might start up again. But yeah.
We could always get Kenny on as well sometime as
Yeah.
well.
He's working on some amazing drum and bass solo work as well. Actually, really is making a big
Aye, cool.
wave at the moment.
Because I can get multiple mics on. Could always get one with both of you at some
that'd
point
be good.
again. At
Yeah,
some
he'd be
point.
up for that,
Yeah, cool, nice. A wee notes I made that I thought, interesting wee things. Where did you come up with the Capital 1212 name?
Yeah, what it was is at the time we were definitely listening to a bit more kind of old school hip hop, and there's a guy called Paul C, who's a hip hop producer in New York, made a lot of sort of underground hip hop records at the time, and he died actually. He died like quite a young age, but he had a recording studio in New York called 1212 Studios. And at the time, I was a bit of a nerd about his production. It was really kind of fast rap, kind of hard, rap, like a very underground. He wasn't
Just
like
a big fan of his sound.
Yeah, he wasn't like a household name.
It's shame he died young
Yeah,
too. So,
yeah.
aye.
So there was a 1212 Studios. It's
Almost paying homage to him a wee bit.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where we took the 1212, and then I think because none of us were from Edinburgh, but we had both recently moved to Edinburgh, and Edinburgh being the capital, we just thought, okay, Capital 1212, that's where it came from. And then we thought it sounded like a bit like a radio show. Capital 1212, it sounded like a, sort of Capital 1212 FM almost, So we kind of went with that actually. So that's where it came from actually. Yeah.
Did you have a symbol that looked like a radio?
Yeah.
You did.
So we did
You
that as well,
did. Yeah, I remember that. It's back in the day though. You had like a sit with the zigzag.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that was actually designed. That was actually before it was our logo. It was actually designed for our first record cover for a 12-inch, and the guy came up with that idea. So we ended up just kind of using it as a logo after as well. For
cool.
So,
Nice one. We've still got a wee sort of 10 minutes. I think I was looking at about 22. So still got is performing live your main thing? Really, you do production, you produce, but
Yeah.
what do you love? Is it the performing that you really enjoy doing, or do you like sitting in the studio producing, creating,
yeah.
or
Yeah. I don't know. It's a bit of a
half and
difference.
half?
Yeah, I think Kenny. It's fair to say, speaking for him, but I think Kenny definitely enjoys the studio.
Aye.
He likes the studio.
Ah, right, cool. I thought you were going to say with his drum and bass background,
Yeah, yeah.
he would do like the
He's-
live shows more.
He does like them,
Yeah.
and he's a great DJ, one of the best. Like, but he's definitely likes he's studio hermit as well. Like,
Yeah.
but for myself, it's kind of a bit of both actually. I don't know. I think.
Do you like the travelling and stuff?
I
Do you
do,
like
yeah.
going like the journey and the adventure?
Yeah, and meeting new people and stuff like that. It's always good. It's I think you start to slow down a wee bit with age and maybe more studio time. It's kind of. But I don't know. It's one of those things when you're in the studio working on something, you're sitting there thinking, oh, I want to play this song out once I've finished it. This will be a good one to play in the club.
Yeah.
But then when you're out there DJing, you're kind of thinking, oh, this is tiring. Like, hey, traveling or whatever. I wouldn't mind just going to the studio and just kicking back and making a track. But both is good. Like, it's good to have the balance, I think, of both.
I still mess about making tunes, but I've not performed in years now, and it's a dilemma in my head where I'm like, I still like making tunes, but I'm not even in my head planning to perform them anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just planning. I'm making them, put them. I enjoy creating the music,
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it online.
Yeah.
But then part of me used to be like, cool, can't wait to play this gig and play that new tune.
And check
So now I'm
reaction and
starting
stuff.
to
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
do I want to start doing some gigs again because I'm
Yeah.
starting to make tunes again? Maybe.
Yeah.
Do the odd little one.
Yeah. I mean, you should. Like, it's but it's. I mean, then again, though, some of my favorite producers also don't do gigs and just release music. And actually, and
Well, I'm trying to convince myself that I could just do that route.
Yeah.
I could just produce stuff and make tunes, put them online, and don't need to play live. But there's something in me going, but I quite
You
enjoy
still
it.
want to, yeah.
Maybe I should
yeah.
just be doing gigs again.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I
Put
know
in the comments if enough of you say, yeah, Riddler, do a gig. I
Yeah.
might do one.
I think you should do it. Yeah, I think you should. Yeah.
Cool, man. We've got another wee sort of 5 minutes. Hit most of your notes that I took on you, to be fair. But so you reckon it's about half and half? You like?
I think so. Yeah. I think also because I've got that kind of built in me, that whole I suppose that DJ kind of coming from like the sort of sound system rave scene in a sense as well. Like, we're used to make a record like on a dub plate and play it out that night, see how it sounded, even sonically, in the club or whatever.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, oh wait a minute, it's not quite right. And
Basses were too heavy, or
that's it. I think I've still got that in me where it's like
the bass can never be too heavy.
They
What are you
can
talking
never-
about?
Exactly. Yeah. Put it in the reds. Like, yeah. I think it's just got that still built me where it's like road testing songs that we've made out and seen the reaction, seen whether that type of thing. Yeah. But it's all good. Like, I like.
That's good though. You enjoy both.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Both good. Like,
Aye. Some people actually like are gigging and they can't really be bothered with the gigging, but they feel they've got to do it.
Yeah.
Or they hate sitting in the studio all that time. They want to just get out and perform the songs. But if
Yeah.
you enjoy both, then you're enjoying.
I think so. I think certainly modern day times. I think like with certain genres like drum and bass and things like that. It's very much like every producer needs to be a DJ and every DJ feels they need to be a producer. And it's
Aye.
something that I don't agree with at all.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to just really good DJs
Yeah.
who don't make any music at all, but have got the skills and love playing other people's music and breaking other people's music. That was also a huge thing. But now it feels like even for bookings and things like that, I don't know, and social media and everything else, I think there's a real sort of pressure for people to feel they have to do everything.
Aye.
And
I think sometimes you pick up, like you focus on one thing, and then you're like, maybe. So you could be a really good DJ, and then when you're not busy with your DJ, I might start dibble dabbling with a bit of production.
Yeah.
And then they find they're good at it,
That's right.
and they're like,
Yeah.
I might continue with this production, and then they become a producer.
Yeah.
And some of them might even step into, I'm going to try and put a rap on that. And then, U-Turn's a good example of that. He was pretty much DJ for years and then got friends with me and Matt and stuff and started, I can rap. You can rap. What do you not rap for? Well, I've done one tune in the past, but I can rap, eh? You want to do a tune? And then when he rap, we were like, mate, you need to be rapping all the time.
Yeah.
And
And I
that was it.
think organically it can happen like that. Where somebody finds other skills. I think it's just in the club scene. I think there's a bit like people feel they have to do everything. And
aye.
actually,
when I was younger, I was like that, and I
Yeah.
think that's why I picked up these silly things like even skateboarding. Well, I like hip hop and I'm doing that. I rap, I make beats. I'm even learning a bit of DJ. I'm going to start to skate. I think I'll go and get some spray paint tomorrow. It's like-
I know, yeah. And I think also like for producers as well. Like I know quite a few producers who really don't want to do gigs, but they feel they have to for exposure and
yeah.
to stay relevant and this and that and to get the music out there. But actually, they're really, really freaking good producers. They don't need to. But I suppose I think that's the pressures of like the music industry and
That's kind of
social
what I was
media.
meaning.
You know,
Should I be doing gigs? If I'm making music, I feel like
See, that's that pressure
you
thing.
can't
isn't
be
it?
making music if you're not going to perform them for people who want to hear them.
Yeah,
Like-
but you can't you? That's the thing.
I know,
you can.
you're like, or can you?
Yeah, and you can, but it's almost breaking that mold of that pressure of like that's been put on artists to feel that they have to do these things. Because I know a few producers who really don't want to do gigs, and it's not healthy for them for whatever reason. But they feel they have to go and DJ. And maybe I know a few producers don't even enjoy DJing, but they feel they have to do it because they release like drum and bass music, you know, and that is part of the
it's
scene
part
almost.
of their profile.
Yeah,
Like,
the profile and all that stuff, you know, and it's just like I think we need to change it up where it's just like people just do what they want and you know,
Aye. Cool, man. Well, I think we could maybe just stop it at that on this part, and we can go on to having another break because we've it fills the time quick here when we're chatting.
Cool. Yeah,
we're
chatting.
not quiet.
We're not. There's no awkward silences or gaps with us two, is it?
Yeah, we're even talking over each other now. Right, perfect. Well, we're going to have another wee break. There'll be a second track on from Capital 1212. Nearly said 1212 again.
Nice.
And details will be on the screen. And we'll be back in a little minute.
Cool.
Cheers.
Oh me, oh my, this is turn fly. I went dust out the sound, make a brought down a sound. We a bad sound and we run the town. Sound boy dead. You hear? Watch this. Bad sound, done man sound. Every sound system we keep that down. Want the gun down and want the show down. Tell them I sound it on the body sing around. Boy, man sound, done man sound. Every sound system we keep that down. Want the gun down and want the show down. Tell them I sound it on the body sing around. We are kill sound from way back when original foundation true born again. Some sound just some of them are going like a sing. It's not how much tune you have, but how you play them. And a pure boom tune a go and fling after them. If a pick when you want, you know we have them. Your face could have rinse or your face could have been. But I find we, but we don't afraid of them. So we are hard sound, done man sound. Every sound system we keep that down. Want the gun down and want the show down. Tell them I sound it on the body sing around. Boy, man sound, done man sound. Every sound system we keep that down. Want the gun down and want the show down. Tell them I sound it on the body sing around. Some sort of go on like a Donna town, but I never about when the foundation I lay down. Some boy just pick up microphone and go like a Donna town. Them a damn clown. You this? Boy, me kill a some boy with a double chop. The boy I run up to your mouth with a $1 chat. You love this up, you love that. Me tell him, hold on a second as a matter of fact. Have you ever been to dance and seen up in this spot with 500 people? Them a cause a roadblock. Every double you play, them beg you play back. You book up my son, you get a double shot, boy. Man sound, done man sound. Every sound system we keep that down. Want the gun down, I want the show down. Tell them I sound it on the body sing around, boy. Man sound, done man sound. Every sound system we keep that down. Want the gun down, I want the show down. Tell them I sound it on the body sing around. Any sound test with us kick that down. Cause my sound is the #1 champion sound. Will sit by the throne. Kick down the king and take away his crown. You know, that sounds dead. Original Batman sound. Hear this. When this song boy come test me, I felt it like a curse. Like a curse. And he can't even tell me what the dub plates are play our words. What? It's not all that glitters is gold. But if you test my sound, you reach a 6-foot hole. And you're not gonna say freedom is light. Some boy, I sound I got dead tonight. E-I-E-I. My sound, done my sound. Every sound system we keep that down. Want the gun down, I want the show down. Tell them I sound it on the body sing around, boy. Man sound, done man sound. Every sound system we keep that down. Want the gun down, I want the show down. it on the rubber dub song. We are get down the sound, get down the sound. Tell the minds on it on the rubber dub song. We are get down the sound, get down the sound. Tell the minds on it on the rubber dub song, boy. Get down the sound, get down the sound. Tell the minds on it on the rubber dub sound. Sound.
Right, guys, that's us back, and I hope you enjoyed that second track there from Capital 1212. We're just on with the final part now, and really talking about what you're up to just now, music-wise, and projects you're doing, any plans you've got, maybe gigs, shows or festivals, or not be much right now in the winter, but and maybe if there's any sort of accomplishments, things you're proud of, things you've maybe radio features or things like that, maybe stories you've got.
Yeah.
But well, quickly before, I've still got a couple of wee notes. I was going to ask you I saw something about something you released hit high in the charts once.
I'm trying to think what that would be.
Did you
There's
release?
There's been a few.
Or you've had a few releases that have actually hit quite high in charts.
Maybe not like high. The last thing probably was it this year? I lose track of years. Start of year, we did a song, and Don Letts, the radio DJ, he put together a compilation album, and he used one of our songs on it, and that did really well actually. That got into the sort of the top of all the iTunes and Amazon charts, and got into the top 20. UK charts as well.
I think that's something. I saw something. Aye.
Yeah. So I got into like top UK like vinyl charts, indie alternative, reggae, quite a few rock charts, and quite a lot of the different charts. I got like number 12 and number 13 and stuff in the charts. So that did pretty well actually.
Cool.
Like,
You don't have like a label helping push your stuff. You guys just do it yourself.
That song was out on the Late Night Tales record label. So that's quite an established
their promotional
label,
teams.
And with Don Letts' name being on the album as well as the compilation, that also helped, sell quite a lot without doubt. But no, we tend to put stuff out in different labels. Like I did run my own label for a while, and we put out quite a lot of our releases on that.
All right.
We haven't put anything out for a while on our own. Well, I'll say that a couple of years ago.
You used to do a lot of sort of promo yourself, emailing radio stations and websites and magazines and
everything actually. And pressing vinyl as well and
Tyre
stuff like
and doing all that stuff.
Just even the pressing vinyl stuff. We put out a few things a couple of years ago still, so we've still got the label we fall back on for certain projects. But generally speaking, we tend to release stuff on other labels now, and not the same label either. We kind of got different. I think because we do things in slightly different genres as well. So, like there's a jungle label, Uncommon Records at the moment, down in Bristol. We're releasing a lot of our jungle music through them at the moment, and so a lot of our reggae music might come out through like various reggae labels and stuff like that. So
cool.
kind of
quite clever.
Yeah, kind of go different labels for different genres almost. Like
it makes sense. Eh? And those labels are interested in that work you do in that genre, and that's
their expertise, and sort of promoting it and stuff. So so
these are people you've built like relationships with over years.
Some new ones, some long standing, and and we've got some stuff coming out in some labels which will be the first time coming out in their labels. So we're still always working with new labels as well. I think once again with sort of like the kind of music we make now, like which is kind of like sort of, could be like jungle or garage or whatever else. It's like kind of we're not really planning maybe making another album in a sense. It is kind of more like sort of singles, like for the clubs and for raves and for festivals and stuff. So you know, it kind of you can kind of get away with moving around labels quite a
yeah.
lot, you know.
You never been tempted to make a Scottish hip hop compilation, getting as many rappers involved? Or
Well, maybe,
never.
yeah, definitely.
it's the problem with that is I can totally understand that the work you're doing can go further, and if you do that, there's only a limit to how far it can be pushed, really, just
Yeah.
now. And
I think we worked with quite a few Scottish artists through the years with vocals and stuff. Now I suppose we used to make beats for rappers, for MCs. That, you know, that was the way we made things. You know, it kind of changed over the last while. We kind of try and make. We make like a tune.
more productions,
Yeah, more production.
Yeah.
We make a tune.
Some vocal samples and things like
Yeah,
yeah. singing
Sometimes
samples.
no vocals. Yeah, sometimes no vocals, and sometimes it'll be vocal samples. And then sometimes we'll make a tune, and then I'll be like, okay, wait a minute, what MC really fits this track? You know, and it could be from anywhere in the world. Actually, we've worked with artists from countries all over the world.
Yeah,
You know, so it's
I've worked with a few guy from Russia.
yeah,
A couple of Polish rappers.
Cool, yeah,
Not
yeah.
that I even met in Edinburgh. This was before
yeah.
even really the big Polish move, like migration and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I got a tune with a Russian guy. It's amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
Full Russian. Don't know what he's saying.
That's
Like,
amazing though. That's what's bad. I think the world's become smaller with the internet, you know, for working with people. But no, definitely still looking for good Scottish vocalists and artists, like, you know. And I feel like a wee bit out of the loop with it. I'm not going to lie, but it's something I'm.
I
Really,
am.
Yeah.
Things are changing so
Yeah,
much,
and so many young artists coming through who are like really talented,
which is
like,
really good.
Yeah.
Like, it's grown so much more.
Yeah.
Partly a reason I think I should maybe start gigging again, because there's actually people going to the gigs. You know, it's like there's more fans, there's more people doing it.
Yeah. So no, definitely odd, and that's something I definitely want to push going forward as well. Like, it's like working with younger artists, whether it's vocalists, you know, whether from Scotland, whether from Edinburgh, or whether further afield, like, you know, kind of get more people involved. So yeah.
Well, from what I know of you, you're really professional. From what I like, there's beat makers. I mean, you're way more professional than I ever was production wise, and there's doesn't take away like skill of different beat makers.
No, not at all.
But you guys are really switched on. You're very professional, and always have been.
Yeah, I think we've always kind of been focused.
If anybody
on
wants to hit you up, you should hit him up and annoy him and ask him for a beat.
Ask him for beats,
and when
yeah.
he says no, he's too busy, just hit him up again.
Yeah, thanks for that.
It's the only way to get anywhere.
Because producers love that, don't they?
I know. Wait, you have to wait until he literally says no, I don't want to.
That's right.
Then
On the 10th message, like, yeah.
I'm a bit busy just now. What about if it? Well,
What
maybe
about
not.
tomorrow? What about tomorrow?
What about that? It's not really my sound. Look, mate, I just don't want to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we'll move on to another little noted. What's the Razor Gully thing?
Oh, Razor Gully, yeah, that was a sort of side project we did with. It was actually Chuck D and DJ Lord from
right.
Public Enemy.
Ah.
Yeah, you know, and DJ Lord initially.
So that was a project with them.
Yeah,
Aye, aye.
and it was kind of a sort of remix project we did with them, but it kind of sort of grew a wee bit more in that where we ended up making a video and stuff and everything for the project and things like that. So DJ Lord, it was himself that I was kind of mainly in contact with. You know, he's doing mad things now. I mean, I gotta say, like, you know, DJ Lord from Public Enemy, I mean, he's played in, he's Cypress Hill's DJ now as well.
Ah, cool.
So he's their DJ now,
Aye,
like, you know.
aye.
So he's like Public Enemy's DJ, Cypress Hill's DJ, and then when you think he was in Prophets of Rage, you know, with Rage Against the Machine and
All right. Aye.
and Chuck as well, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
and that,
yeah.
you know.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah,
No, 5,
maybe-
10 years ago.
Maybe about 5 years ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it was with Be Real, Cypress Hill,
Yeah.
from that. So,
Super group almost.
yeah, it was.
Aye,
Yeah,
aye.
so you know, there's not many DJs in the history of hip hop who have played in 3 huge bands like that:
Yeah,
Public
yeah.
Enemy, Cypress Hill, and Prophets of Rage. I mean, that's
I
quite.
always think of Muggs.
Yes, yeah, amazing.
He did that whole House of Pain, Cypress
Yeah,
Hill,
the whole
like
sound.
that Funk Dubious.
Yeah.
Aye.
The Soul Assassins, wasn't it? Yeah, he was brilliant. Like, but yeah, so did it with DJ Lord and Chuck D did the vocal and stuff like that. So yeah, but it was kind of it's quite funny, like, because you kind of think like Public Enemy were always my favourite band. They were
Aye.
they were the ones who got me into hip hop.
Yeah, yeah.
Was Public Enemy, and I always kind of thought, it'd be great to make a tune with
That's
Public
common.
Enemy.
You've either it's common with a lot of people. It's either pretty much been Public Enemy or it's been NWA.
Really,
It
yeah.
depends what side you were really into.
Yeah, yeah.
And I grew to then love Dr. Dre, his albums, and
Yeah,
Tupac and Snoop and all.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then my pals that were in, they ended up like Tribe Called Quest and
Gone
and
down that route,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
But then later in life, I then found all that stuff.
Hmm.
Not much later in life, but I've concentrated so much on all that category of rap.
Yeah.
I started to find like Q-Tip, and I was like, wow, Q-Tip.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and then other rap, like even Mos Def and that, and
Yeah, yeah.
like just like wow, aye.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. But yeah, but I always kind of sort of thought, they're always my favourite band, and I just thought Public Enemy, but it was interesting when we finally ended up making track with them though. It wasn't a hip hop song, it wasn't a Public Enemy sounding song. It was actually like a really kind of grimy drum and bass
Oh.
song, but with lots of turntablism and scratching from DJ Lord and stuff like that. And so it's interesting that it's not,
Typical.
Yeah, it's not
Oh, yeah.
typical. It's not what you thought, but that's what they actually liked as well. So it's kind of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of that thing you'll probably know yourself as well from production. Sometimes I learned quite early on when MCs or vocalists used to ask me for beats, and I'd go, no problem, I'm a big fan of yours, I can make something that you will love. And you make something that sounds like them, and then they go, actually, I've done that before.
Yeah.
That's my sound, I've done that. I was looking for something different. Like,
Aye.
do you know what I mean?
And you're like, oh,
you know,
wow.
yeah, and you're like, all right, okay, so
I've literally done that and found their tunes on YouTube and listened to beats and almost tried to copy
replicate,
the beat.
yeah, totally, and yeah,
Make it different, but
yeah.
very similar style.
Yeah,
Aye, aye.
and there's the odd vocalist who actually is looking for very similar, but actually no, it's
A lot of the time it does work, because
Yeah,
they go,
yeah.
oh, that's exactly what I'm into.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
But there's a lot.
But they
of
sometimes come to you going, he's got a lot of drum and bass, but he probably send me something really drum and bassy. Then you go and send him like a pure
reggae
hip-hop
tune or
beat.
something. Yeah,
and he's like,
yeah,
I
dub
thought I
reggae.
was going to get something drum and bassy.
Exactly.
I didn't think you liked drum. No,
Yeah.
that's why I asked you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh,
yeah.
no.
It's quite hard to kind of guess sometimes what people want, but I did realise that early on. Like, I remember I was sitting with quite a few beats I'd made for people that sounded like them, and they didn't want them, they wanted something different, so those beats went to somebody else,
yeah.
and you swapped them all around in a sense, but
It's one of the most frustrating things, sending beats out and spending time picking, listening through, and then making some MP3s or whatever
Yeah,
just
yeah.
to send, and then you maybe send a whole load and they only like a couple, and you're like, right, okay,
yeah,
back to the drawing board, right, we'll keep those two then.
yeah. They can always be used for something, can't they? That's
But
the one thing
I
I've learned,
always
yeah.
think, don't get too annoyed, because the artist, the rapper or singer or whatever, needs to have an input, because you kind
Yeah.
of feel like, can you not just take my word for it? They're all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, you can't do that. They need to be able to be happy with the beats.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember kind of slightly different, not like a MC, but the singer Mr. Hudson. I don't know, Mr. Hudson had a lot of sort
I
of
remember
success.
the name.
Yeah, and he was with Jay-Z and Kanye. Had the big
Aye.
#1 with Kanye West and that. And he was right. It was right in his prime, like where he'd kind of he just featured on Jay-Z's album, and he had the big single with Kanye West and signed to I think Kanye's label. And I got asked to make a beat for his follow-up record. And he's a singer, so I kind of made like a synthy kind of, an instrumental, and I really like it. I still like it actually. It's never been used for anything, but I actually listen to it sometimes and go, I really like that tune.
Creative.
Yeah, it's just a really nice tune. And I thought this sounds so kind of like what he had done in his album, but just maybe a wee bit sort of next step. And I sent it to him, and one of his people, it wasn't him, one of his people, wrote back and said, oh, that's really, really good, great track, but he's decided, you mentioned earlier, he's decided that his follow-up album is going to be a dubstep album. And is it a dubstep album, with the singer on it, and his voice, I was thinking, really? Okay, I'm not knocking Mr. Hudson, but anyway,
Didn't
so
work
it
out.
didn't work out, but then that second album by Mr. Hudson never ever came out either,
Aye,
with
aye.
the dubstep album.
Oh,
So I think
right.
I don't know what happened there, but I think, yeah. Sometimes maybe people might just think I'm going to experiment too much with my sound. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
He stopped drinking or something.
yeah. And I think also dubstep was started on its way out by then as well.
True,
I
yeah.
think it was maybe a wee bit slow on the
Aye.
on the trend of dubstep.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
so there
remember
you go,
that name though.
yeah. But as I say, good on him though. It was nice to be asked. And
aye.
everything else. So but they don't always work out.
Yeah. I think that's all my notes really that I took on you. So is there any things that sort of jump out in your mind, or things you're really like proud of? Anything like Have you won any sort of wee awards or anything like that?
Yeah,
Or,
we've been up for a few kind of nominations.
Nominated.
I don't know if we were won anything. Always nominated.
Aye.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Used to
Isn't
be
it?
nominated. I've not been nominated.
Yeah. One, used to do a few kind of battles and things back, sort of DJing wise and stuff like that. And very early on, actually, before I was even making music, I kind of won quite a few DJ awards and magazines and things. And
Oh, cool.
and then like a few sound clashes in Europe, like sort of big kind of sort of reggae jungle sound clashes. Like that wasn't too long ago. We won a couple of those actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
so it was like sound clash against other crews from other countries and
Oh,
stuff like that.
nice.
So, but they
You're
were
still winning things now then.
yeah, but they were really good fun though. That was just about the spirit of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It wouldn't have mattered who won. It was just like lots
Aye.
of rum, a big crowd going crazy. It was just fun, you know. So, but
You've been on BBC introducing often.
Yeah,
Sure, you've been
they-
over through the years.
yeah, they helped us a lot actually. Yeah, especially going back to like when Vic Galloway did
Yeah,
BBC
yeah.
introducing, and then it was Ali, and then
Ali.
all the current presenters, Phoebe and everything.
I'm out of touch now,
Yeah.
but last it was Ali. When,
Yeah, they've all been really supportive over the years, and also the other DJs on BBC and stuff as well, like you know, on BBC One and stuff like that, on BBC
Muslim
Six.
Aleem as well. You know
Yeah,
Muslim?
Muslim Al,
yeah, he's
yeah,
sound, eh?
yeah, brilliant.
He actually loves hip hop.
You only like,
Aye.
do you know Muslim? The only time I ever see him these days actually is, and it's not been for a while because they never play, but it's actually when Public Enemy play, and
Oh, he's a massive fan of
and,
Public
and
Enemy.
I
eh?
normally
Aye,
find
aye.
him in the pit at the front, covered in sweat, just like we all are, because we're all really old and shouldn't be in the pit having a mosh, like, you know.
Aye,
But
aye.
we're all, we're always, that's where we normally meet. I'm like, there you are,
Aye,
like, and
aye.
we're covered in sweat and like jumping around
he's-
to bring the noise at the front of the Public Enemy.
He's technically like the producer, eh?
He is a producer, yeah,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
makes some good beats as well,
Yeah,
though.
But actually
Yeah.
on the radio,
On the radio, yeah.
he's the producer. Aye,
Yeah,
aye.
he's moved
down
that-
in the mosh pit.
Yeah,
I think
totally.
he'd
Yeah.
be like sensible producer.
Yeah,
type.
that's right. But out with his BBC and his production, and they're actually some of his beats
Oh, aye,
are
he-
outstanding.
I think he made a beat for Mad Tat once. I think.
Right, yeah,
Aye,
yeah.
because Mad Tat was well in with BBC. He went and done the master class with Tim Westwood and all
Oh,
that
cool,
down in
yeah,
London.
yeah.
So, but it was really Muslim and that lot helping Mad Tat putting him into these things.
There's some good people in Scotland that really have
Yeah.
helped push things along
That was
the
a
way. like-
massive bonus that
Yeah.
he was a hip hop head
Yes, it was.
and
yeah,
he had
yeah.
a job at
Yeah.
BBC.
Yeah.
And he helped push a lot of people.
Very
so
true. Very
big
true.
up to Muslim Aleem. I'm sure
Yeah.
he knows it.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. No, these guys definitely helped him. Put us on on the BBC introducing stages at Tea in the Park and different
Yeah,
places.
yeah,
as well.
same.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, you did that. So
Aye.
yeah, these were good things. But yeah, I think not so much battle and things now. I think now it's I think where we're at now with like music and just life and stuff like that. I think sound clashes and stuff are all fun, but I think it's about trying to like kind of make tracks that have got about like meaning and a
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
energy to them and a bit
Aye.
like like a bit sort of purpose to them in a sense as well.
Nice to have a sort of message in
Yeah,
music too.
I think so.
Aye,
I think
yeah.
so, and I think maybe
It doesn't even have to have a lot of words. Sometimes
No.
music can just give
Yeah,
you a message, a feeling.
yeah,
Aye.
it's true. Like, so I think that's where I'm at now. I think it's just looking at different ways of kind of doing music in a sense.
I just thought back there as well. It was either Vic Galloway or Muslim Aleem. One of them said to me when I was at the radio, and I took it as a really good thing because I wasn't rapping as much anyway, and I'd started producing so much, and they were like just chatting away and that. And one of them said, I think it was Muslim Aleem, and he was like, Riddler, you need to stick at producing. You need to just concentrate, because I just started really producing, and he was like, you need to stick at that.
Yep.
And I always took it as a really good thing, like him
Yeah.
telling me you're good at it.
yeah,
need-
you saw
if
something in it. Yeah.
like
yeah.
probably ignore the rapping and keep producing.
Yeah.
And I think he was kind of saying that, let Mad Tat do the rapping.
Yeah.
You should be producing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thanks a lot. And like,
Yeah.
I went away from that, like, in a way, he's kind of saying, he's better at rapping than you. You should just stop the rapping. But so I took that as well. But I
Yeah,
also took it
yeah.
as, but he's also saying, your producer's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
Focus
yeah.
on that.
Yeah. It sometimes takes people like it's like looking at the strengths, isn't it? And what you should
Yeah.
focus on at that moment in time, even, isn't it?
Aye,
Like
aye.
it's yeah.
So a few people like that. And Steg G as well, he used to always big me up about my production. I think that's what pushed me that way. I was slowly going, no, maybe I'm better at this and I should just keep doing that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so now I've got a gap with nobody rapping on it. So these days I'm like, right, I'll just rap on it because I need someone to rap on it.
No, that's cool though. That's cool though. Like,
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Like,
I can rap, so
Yeah.
why not? I'll just
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it myself.
Yeah. But
Well-
no, I think it's just good to music still, man.
Yeah.
Still vibing off music. Myself and Kenny still have a great time doing it in studio and stuff like
amazing,
that.
eh?
It's
Aye.
yeah, you know, but it's
Still going strong.
yeah, and
Aye.
it's just good vibes doing it. So you know, just get kind of
Not quite as much. Obviously, got kids and a family
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff, so
yeah.
not quite as much time on it as you used to.
It's true.
But you're still,
Yeah, yeah.
you're still very active. Eh?
Yeah, still
Aye.
trying to keep things out there and stuff. But it's just
Kenny got kids or family. Or...
no, but he's just busy with he's married and he's busy with life and
Yeah.
and also he does a lot of other music and he's also like doing mastering and stuff for other people and stuff because he's
Right.
he's a studio wizard like so he's doing mix downs for people mastering
Oh,
and
nice.
so
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
he can turn his hand to anything really so
Quality.
yeah.
Nice one.
But yeah.
Well, we're almost coming to the end, so just really, if you wanted to mention anything coming up, anything you want people to know about, or if you're working on anything just now,
Yeah.
singles or albums, or any
Um,
shows coming up, or
Yeah, we've got a single out. I don't know if this will go out just after Christmas. We've got a single out on the 30th of December. A new jungle track. Sort of big club tune with a couple of vocalists, J-Man, and from Bristol, and Killer P, the grime.
Oh, I know
Killer
that
P,
name.
from
Oh, yeah.
the
Cool.
roll deep days
Ah,
and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So Killer P's on it. So
Cool.
big jungle track on Uncommon
how
Records.
how can people find like that? What will it be on? So
That'll be on everything.
everything,
actually.
yeah. So you'll just
yeah.
search whatever platform
Yeah.
you use, and you're going to find it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
that'll
So
be-
what would the track be called? In
It's
there?
called Flipside.
Flipside.
Yeah, so
It'll be capital 1212.
featuring the guys. Yeah,
Aye,
yeah.
Flipside. Yeah, keep a wee eye out for that. Maybe start of January it should be available.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can
And
play
this
it
should come out start of January, so around
Yeah.
the same time.
same time. So
Yeah.
go and find it. Yeah,
Yeah, go and check it out.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention or
No, I
coming
don't
up
think so,
shows
eh.
or anything? Nothing
just
planned?
I've got
winter time right now. There's not a lot of
not
shows
too
going
much,
on.
no
Yeah.
hibernation, but got a regular show that I'm doing on Brooklyn Radio in New York.
Oh, cool.
But you can get it. You can either catch it live or it's on Mixcloud. And so if you type in capital 1212 on Brooklyn Radio, and it's not talking or anything. I tend to do like either like a reggae mix or the new one is like a UK garage mix, and
Oh,
and
nice.
things like that. So just different genres, and there's quite a few up there already that are in our archives.
And is that played in America? And that?
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's
cool.
on in New York, like
Nice.
but then that's they put them up so people can hear them
Yeah,
elsewhere
yeah.
as well. So
Oh, cool. So keep a wee eye out for
Yeah.
that as well. And where should they go to find that then?
Mixcloud,
Mixcloud, yeah,
or the Brooklyn Radio website as well. But
Brooklyn Radio.
yeah.
Yeah, cool. And just search for capital 1212
Yeah.
mixes or something.
Yeah, that'll be up there.
Mhm.
Yep.
Cool, man. Well, I'm happy to finish up there. You happy
Cool,
to?
yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's been good, man.
Right, perfect. Well, thanks a lot for coming on.
Worries, man. We warmed up, not physically warmed up. We're
Yeah, I
cold. We're
know.
cold physically,
Yeah.
but
I
we
don't know if
warmed
we
up.
mentioned it, but my heater broke last night.
That's why I've been sitting like this quite often.
I were like, oh, there's a tiny little heater on there, but it's not doing much.
It's been good though.
I've been on Argos's website, sponsored by Argos. Gonna get down there and buy a new heater. Well, anyway, big up.
Nice one.
Thanks so much for coming on,
Cheers,
man.
man. Pleasure,
And,
man.
we'll
Pleasure.
do another one
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, in
Get
the
you
summer.
back on.
In the summer.
Yeah, in the summer.
In the
aye,
summer
you'll,
we'll do
you'll
it.
be booking it in for July. Right, guys. Thanks very much to everyone for watching, and catch you on the next one. Peace. Remember to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification button to make sure you don't miss out on any upcoming content.